Hello, everybody. I'm going to tag a few people and see, I don't know what happened. My computer just decided to shut down. And I think this has been indicative of some of the obstructive energies that have been happening. And so what I want to do is a special prayer of protection here. Give me a second. I'm going to give everybody a second to pop back on. Say hi if you're here. Wow, wonderful. Thank you for coming back, Kimberly. So I've had a few situations this week where either technology or somebody, the entities, the, the powers that be, have tried to be obstructive or interfere in getting my message out there. And so welcome, Rebecca. Thanks for coming back in. And so a message was given to me that I need to, not to create fear or anything, but this is all about understanding the need to create a stronger spiritual container for the work that we're doing. And so what I really want to do is a little protection prayer here before I'm giving people a minute to get back on before I start doing the card reading. But and I kind of go back and forth on the need for protection versus being such a bright light that only that which is of the light can be here. But I do acknowledge that there are attachment entities and things like that that like to interfere and be a nuisance. And so anytime we have interference, to me, it's a sign that we're talking about some really important stuff. Okay. So here's our protection prayer for the work that we're doing here. All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God protects us. The power of God enfolds us. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And we thank our guardian angels, Archangel Michael. Thank you for watching over this space. And only that which is of the light shall be here. Anything else that chooses to obstruct or interfere is not welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great Spirit. Amen. Okay. That said, let's continue. All right. Monday, Two of Swords. Passion flower. No, I don't think I've had Two of Swords in a long time. So what is the energy? Sword energy is air energy. So a lot of inner wisdom. This week is all about inner wisdom. So I don't know, it's kind of a bit of a glare. Two of Swords. Okay. A woman stands before the ocean. Her arms cross her heart and hands hold two swords. The moon in the background is waxing. A new cycle is beginning. That's perfect for the full moon coming up. We're waxing, we're expanding. The woman has come to the point of integrating the duality of the mind, that is analysis and intuition. She has also been working on an equilibrium between the heart, the emotions, and the intellect. This process of repatterning our behavior with relationships. This process will bring tranquility and greater internal balance. That's the moon in Taurus is all about. Balance, 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 balance. Any conflict that she was having is finding a resolution. Decisions and agreements have been or can now be reached. A sense of healing wisdom is hers to manifest. Especially in this Venus retrograde, if you're feeling really disconnected or maybe a sense of conflict, release the urge to do something and be more about allowing. And that's disagreement or conflict will naturally resolve itself. So a sense of healing wisdom is hers to manifest. She must guard against being indecisive to the point of no action, and she must learn to complete those actions and cycles she has begun. If she feels tension and confusion because of her indecisiveness, she must take time out to listen to her heart's wisdom, and the uncertainties will begin to fade away. Definitely a sense of inner knowing, okay? That's air energy. Passion flower was so named by Jesuit missionaries in Peru because it was thought it was that its distinctive corona and petals resembled the crown of thorns that Jesus wore, the Passion of the Christ. The herb was said to pacify the spirit. So if you're in a lot of spiritual conflict right now, passion flower can help you with that. It'll bring you into a sense of homeostasis or balance. Passion flower is a nervine sedative and antispasmodic. It treats sleeplessness, chronic insomnia, seizures, epilepsy, anxiety, and nervous tension. You can create oops, somebody's sending me a message. Okay. You can create a tea of it by, you can put 4 more drops of herbal essence and maybe taken as needed throughout the day, a tincture form of it, or visualize yourself in the 2 swords setting with the passion flower embracing you. Allow the serenity and peacefulness to fill you. For medicinal use, a standard infusion may be made in 1 cup taken 3 times per day, or a tincture may be used 10 to 30 drops per dose. 30 drops is a standard for like 1 squeezer full. Need to create a quietness within. Work to resolve any indecisiveness. Need to balance heart and mind, resolving conflict and reconciliation. Through my heart's path, I create a balance within. So if you're getting a sense of stress or whatever, relax. It's going to do the work to nourish yourself. It's going to come to you, okay? Your inner wisdom is going to serve you, okay? So we haven't had this in a while. Wednesday, Thursday. The High Priestess. It's pretty good. Good energy here. Peony. It's all about the moon, okay? The High Priestess embodies the pure power of the feminine receptive principle. It's again saying just don't push, just allow. She is in touch with the universal mind. She has had many names in her past, and at one point was none other than the ancient Egyptian goddess Isis. The need for feminine goddess energy is huge right now. Huge. There's so much toxic masculinity in all of us, not just like guys. Guys have feminine as well, and their need to go within and become intuitive about how they're really feeling is important too. So it's not, and when we talk about the patriarchy, it's not we hate men, it's the dominion of one gender or energy over the other is not healthy. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So this High Priestess energy, this honoring of the feminine is really important for this week, especially if you're an overdoer and you need to learn how to allow and receive. Many, excuse me. This is important apparently because somebody's trying to obstruct me from saying it. Many of us women don't think of receiving. We've lost our ability to receive and allow. We're doing too much. We've filled up our schedules with too much. We think if we don't do it, we're full of anxiety, that it's not going to happen. Whatever our story is around why we do too much. This High Priestess energy is telling us to tap into our innate birthright, which is to receive and allow. So Isis, Egyptian goddess Isis, who is able to give life to the god Osiris after his death, is the energy of the High Priestess. Thus, around her neck is the sacred Ankh, the key of life. The sacred feminine is also present in Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. They're showing up a lot for me lately. So there's something here. The return of the Magdalene is not in just one of us, it's in many of us, okay? It's not like the return of Christ where this one being comes and takes over the world. Return of Magdalene energy is the sacred feminine, and many of us are bringing that to the forefront. So, thus around her neck is the sacred key of life. She was also the Virgin Mary who contained within herself the seed of spirit to be manifested on earth. Think about that. Your seed, what is in form? That's the moon in Taurus. Wednesday, Thursday. What's in form here? What already is. This high priestess energy is what you need to use to form what is, okay? That seed of spirit to be manifested on earth. That's all Taurus energy, the moon energy, okay? Her left foot rests on the crescent moon, symbolizing her dominion of and oneness with inner reflection and the natural cycles of life. Enthroned between the two pillars of light and dark, she is in a state of silent equilibrium. I shall mention too, because we forgot, back in the time before clocks and all this other stuff, women marked time by their moon cycles, their period. And so women were in a strange way timekeepers, and were much more in alignment with the natural cycles of life. When to be quiet, when to go into the red tent, when to honor the inner self, when to go back out into the world, when to, you know, exert yourself on others in your life, that sort of thing. Enthroned between the two pillars of light and dark, she's in a state of silent equilibrium. With a veil over her eyes, she is mute, looking within to the subconscious. In other words, to the consciousness that resides behind all the outer manifestations. So again, that Scorpio inner desire, what are you truly desiring? What's underneath the energy, underneath all the things that you're manifesting? So good time to acknowledge your core wounds. If the relationships, the experiences that you're manifesting in your life are really being manifested by default due to your fear of abandonment, fear of, you know, smothering, whatever your core wound is, that might be the energy that you're actually manifesting under. And so your deepest desire may be the opposite, to manifest with a sense of an open heart, that sort of thing. This is what the high priestess is asking you to look at. Okay, she knows there is a uniting consciousness behind all aspects of life. The blue color of her garment and the clouds in the sky are indicative of the watery element over which she reigns. The water is the source of life, in that it contains all the thoughts and substances needed for life's expression. You may want to use some water energy during the full moon. Go take a nice bath. Sit in the water, let it cleanse you. Think of water as the element that allows your emotions to flow through it. What's going on under your still waters, okay? Maybe a good time for you to sit and meditate on what your core wound is, or what are you manifesting currently with your energy right now. So the blue color of her garment and the clouds in the sky are indicative of the watery element over which she reigns. Water is the source of life, and that is contains all the thoughts and substances needed for life's expression. Through our own inner high priestess, we're able to tap into our potential creativity and are better able to understand how all aspects of our life are united. So peony root helps to foster and harmonize the feminine energy within. If you're having trouble overdoing, stuck in masculine energy, call on peony root to help you balance that out. A woman who uses this herb on a regular basis will learn how to accept and work with the metamorphosis she goes through from childhood, puberty, motherhood, menopause, and then the wise crone. All the cycles of life of the divine feminine. The beautiful peony flower has a vibration of softness, yet deep vitality, which is indicative of the basic yin or feminine energy, from which all of life receives its foundation. What is Moon and Taurus? All about your foundations. So maybe it's a good time to really begin a new foundation of the divine feminine as the energy you operate under, okay? Peony root is commonly used in Chinese herbalism, together with other female herb tonics such as Donkai, false unicorn root, and raspberry leaf to strengthen those aspects of the blood and female hormones necessary for the monthly cycle, puberty, menopause, and fertility in women. Okay, a lot of us tend to bleed during the full moon. If you are bleeding this week, take some time to really honor that. Get quiet. Take more time during the day to really think about how you're feeling. Carrying a piece of the peony root in a pouch will remind the wearer to be in tune with their inner knowing. You can also, like I said, if you can't get the root, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in a medicine bag, keep it close to you. Just the essence of it, the vibration of it, thinking about it, brings it close to you. So, keywords: exploring the subconscious, looking for the why behind the manifestations. Okay, why am I, in this full moon in Taurus on Wednesday? I believe it's Wednesday. This is what is. This is what's in front of me. And what was it? What was the energy behind it that created it? And then what are my deepest desires? And how can I nourish the energy to bring about my deepest desires? This is all very feminine work. It's not, you're not going out and doing something, you're attracting it to you. I open my heart to the answers that lie within me. I see the perfection and unity of all things. All right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me get a drink of water here. So, and one last thing about High Priestess, that's major arcana. That's like huge energy, not just for the week, but maybe something you should start thinking of as a rite of passage for you, a new way of seeing yourself. That Uranus and Taurus, that disruptive transformation, the new way that you start to relate to others. And so it may be disruptive to other people for you to stop being who you are so that you can, because they're benefiting from you giving away your power to them. And I'm not to say that as like the people you're with are, bad people, but if you are feeling drained by your interaction with them, if you change giving away your power to them, they're going to feel that it's disruptive, and it will feel disruptive to you too. So remember what I was saying, honor yourself. If you want to stay connected to someone who's being, dishonoring to you, you are self-abandoning at that point. So pull back. You cannot abandon yourself. Okay? It's the time to be present for yourself. Say, I choose to disconnect from this energy over here that's not serving me, and I can't be alone, because by me choosing to honor myself, I'm no longer self-abandoning. So that's kind of a huge thing that I had to learn over a course of time. Okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know if you can see this, a little bit of a glare. Juniper berries, 7 of Cups. We've got some water energy here, okay? And it's perfect because it's astrologically attuned to Venus in Scorpio, and we are Venus in retrograde in Scorpio. All things are possible. A key idea of this card is self-love. That's definitely coming up, that nourishing of self. Love yourself. This aspect of, where are you being unkind to yourself? You can be unkind to yourself in many ways. Again, tolerating disrespect from others, not taking time out to sleep, to rest, to eat the good food, to constantly thinking toxic thoughts about others so that your internal environment is yucky, or maybe being ugly to yourself about your body, the decisions you make, all that. These are ways that you can turn around into acts of self-love. I choose to think kind thoughts so that my inner world is a loving place. I choose to love myself and my body. I just didn't, I think I was talking about this where I did, and I love exercise. My beautiful friend Darcy made a post, Darcy Iverson, did a post about how she loved her body and how she'd been unkind to it, and how, you know, like one example, her feet were too skinny and long, and yet she loved her feet for being the thing that, you know, took her places. And, you know, for me, it was like I had to do, and I love my big breasts exercise last night because I always hated them. I thought they were too big. They prevented me from running properly. They caused too much attention. But yet these are the things that my 3 children. Be in a state of gratitude for yourself, all the ways in which you've been taking yourself for granted. This is that self-love that this is asking you to partake in. So a key idea of this card is self-love, which arises from the power gained from the awareness of self-confidence. Self-confidence is kind of a elusive thing for many of us women. We're taught that to be confident is to call attention to ourselves, and many of us don't feel safe calling attention to ourselves. So there's a lot of this energy from Wednesday, Thursday of the High Priestess, of being in Divine Feminine. How can we call attention to ourselves and be in self-confidence in a way that feels safe, that feels nourishing, that feels good to us? That's going to be the work for us this week. Possibly one may indulge in a self-aggrandizement, the inclination to consider oneself superior to others. In any case, at this stage, we recognize the inner state of our being reflected in the outer world. With this recognition, we may choose the path of adeptship as we seek to understand what is being reflected back to us from others, or we can become emotionally stagnant, overindulgent in pleasures or vices, or caught in our illusion of how things are supposed to be. Okay, that's a big old mouthful. I read that to be, it's a time for you to understand that what you see in others and are maybe judging others in is the work you need to humble yourself and do on yourself. That ultimately will bring you to a sense of self-knowing, self-love, and therefore confidence. Okay? Don't get too hung up on, you know, being in your ego. That's the thing that's going to make you stagnant. If you have to be right, if you have to be lord over somebody, this is such a humbling experience. Okay, if you feel that you're really in a huge impasse with somebody or some topic, look at where your ego is keeping you stuck. I assure you, it may feel like you're giving up power if you're relinquishing control, but at the end of the day, you will be honoring yourself if you're recognizing that maybe I'm being stubborn or hard-headed or whatever it is. But if you know that you are actually honoring yourself in whatever you're standing in your truth, that's what this self-love is. That's what this card is saying. Really know who you are and where you're coming from. The 7 cups arranged in an upward spiral symbolize the 7 chakras. The science of yoga assigns a specific power of energy to each of these centers. With the awakening of these powers comes a sense of one's true purpose. The snake represents the seat of Kundalini or life energy, your 1st chakra. The smiling mask is the emotional center, 2nd chakra. The jewels are the center of energy. They're referring to all these photos here. The center of energy and power, your 3rd chakra. The red castle is the house where the soul resides, 4th chakra. The bay leaf wreath is the orator's headdress and the ability to communicate thoughts, the 5th or throat chakra. And the heart bridge is the path of the mind with the heart of the heart path, 6th chakra, that's your 3rd eye. And the blue dragon is the releasing of the self to the divine expression of life, the 7th chakra. Just be in balance, essentially. Get your energy balanced. Many of us here already know about all the chakras and balancing our energy and what each one means, and look at where we're stuck, okay? Jupiter berries are said to purify the aura and to protect from negative thought forms and influences. I can't express how important you can do all the physical cleansing, all the, you know, dietary cleanses, etc. But if you don't do spiritual cleansing, you don't do cleaning out your toxic thoughts, everything starts with thought and energy. So that needs to be the root of where you're cleaning out and doing your self-love. But doing it, self-love is nourishment. It's not go in and decide what's wrong and what's bad and just get rid of that and be in a judgmental place. That's kind of what I was referring to when me and Salma were saying. Ripping off the scab can cause a greater wound. Gently go through and say, where can I change? And how can I love myself in a better way? Maybe loving yourself is the change, you know? Many of us are not self-loving at all, and we don't realize how unloving we're being to ourselves. Juniper berries are said to purify the aura and protect from negative thought forms and influences. As each of the chakra centers become more open and more invigorated, juniper berries will help channel the energy toward the highest good for the self and others. Juniper berries are very fragrant. They smell piney. You can use an aromatherapy. I personally don't like the taste of it. Take a cup 2 or 3 times daily of the crushed berries. Most of us don't have crushed juniper berries on hand, so I would say use it in aromatherapy, or like I said earlier, you can write down the word crushed juniper berries and keep the essence of it on you. Juniper berries may be taken in combination with other herbs that deal with the urinary and kidney systems. The keywords are possibilities, realizations of inner powers and capacities, watch for overindulgences, and fantasies. Okay, well, that's good for I desire energy of Scorpio. Affirmation. I recognize myself as I am reflected in the outer world. I recognize myself as I am reflected in the outer world. That's perfect for this full moon in Taurus. Form. What is? It's kind of in battle with like what is and what I desire. Is your outer world showing you what you really want? And it's a very accurate reflection of the energy you're using to create. So if your outer world is not reflecting what you truly want, you got to examine the energy you're using. Okay, 8 of Pentacles, Earth energy. This is ginger. Ginger, those of you know, it has a carminative quality to it, warming energy, and its pentacles are earth energy here. So let's see what the 8 of Pentacles has to say. Okay, Sun in Virgo. Hello, Kimberly. Oh yes, you like that. I'm happy you like that. It took me a very long time to understand that concept of what. Well, I might say that I want XYZ, but if what's showing up for me in my life is you know MNOP, maybe I either really don't want XYZ, or the energy that I'm using is actually manifesting MNOP instead. So think about that. It kind of boggles your brain for a little bit. But okay. With tools on hand, the craftsman looks carefully at his work. He has learned his skill well, but knows that there's always more to learn and to perfect. The practice of good self-discipline assists him in making the right choices. Okay, so for me, self-discipline has been like a big, hairy subject. I did a speaker series called Self-Mastery, or Energy Mastery, all about self-mastery. And I will tell you this. Those of us who've had some sort of trauma response or developmental trauma or attachment trauma, your sense of self-mastery is thrown off from the beginning. And you'll do a lot of meaning making around, why can't I fill in the blank? Because you were never taught to have a significant amount of self-discipline. You weren't thinking in the self. You were thinking in attachment to another. And so this energy of learning self-discipline, I think we should translate it to self-nourishment. We are disciplined about how we're nourishing ourselves. And that can look like, I make sure I meditate every day. I make sure that I gave myself time to journal. I make sure that I fill in the blank. And it doesn't become a chore because it's something that's bolstering you, something that's nourishing you, essentially. Okay? So the practice of good self-discipline assists him in making the right choices. Financially, he's aware of how to keep the books balanced, and physically, he's been learning how to keep himself in good health, for he knows that these are some of the resources he must rely on in order to keep going in life. So, hey, Courtney, welcome. I'll pull you an herbal card. How's that sound? I know you got to pop off here. You don't have really good connection. It says financially, he's aware of how to keep the books balanced, and physically he's been learning how to keep himself in good health, for he knows that these are some of the resources he must rely on in order to keep going in life. When I was much younger, I used to get like a sense of exhaustion from having to do all these things, to be responsible and, you know, show up to work on time and etc. And when I went to a counselor for this, you know, and I said, well, I don't have any time for myself. And she's like, what are you talking about? All the things you're doing are for you. You know, you're going to work for you. You're going to school for you. And so it really boggled my brain. Like, wait a minute. Like, all the things that I've created, I did out of a sense of desire for myself. And so look at all of the creations you have that you're maintaining are things that you're nourishing for you, okay? Not something that's going to drain you. You know, tending to your finances, that's going to help you. You're going to have a sense of self-love because you're making sure you're not harming yourself financially by not ignoring your bills. And then, yes, it's all about perception. The need to establish strong foundations and roots so that an expansion can occur is imperative. I talk about self-supporting habits like opening sacred space, daily journeying if you can. It's not necessarily every day, but some other things, taking baths, just for the sake of relaxing and meditating. These things help you on what I call sacred daily practices. And they're the things that will give you the space, that create the container to do this spirit work. And so the need to establish strong foundations and roots so that an expansion can occur is imperative. I cannot express this enough. Do the self-nourishing things so you have the energy to be in your purpose work, to not be hemorrhaging out energy elsewhere, to not be in a state of chaos or overwhelm or overdoing. So in so doing these nourishing sacred daily practices, you're taking care of yourself to be in a position to fulfill your desires. So making the proper preparations and creating the time and place to create is part of the craftsman's understanding. You may say you want to be an artist, but if you don't take the time out to paint, to sing, to write music, whatever, you're not creating the foundation for you to do the space to do that creative work, okay? This is the same thing for you. And if I want to create a more relaxed life, I got to cut out all this other crap that's not conducive to relaxing. Stop scheduling so much stuff. Take out appointments that you maybe put in there, appointments and obligations that you put in your life because you thought it was going to add meaning, but it's actually not contributing to your sense of spaciousness and relaxation if that's what you really want. So it's this concept of really, is what's happening in your life giving you what you really want? Okay? So, and what are you doing? What daily habits are you doing to get you to that place? What he must watch for is that he does not get caught up in idle pursuits or get so lost in the details that he forgets to look at the whole picture. Like I say, lost in the details. I had way too many appointments last week, and it was starting to really stress me out. And I realized what I really desire is relaxation and spaciousness and time with family and time to do spirit work. And what I thought those appointments were accomplishing was actually interfering with what I really wanted. So I got rid of them. And at first, one of the appointments, I thought, oh, the person's going to be disappointed because they think I'm quitting. Who cares? Who cares? Let it be. Honor yourself and don't stay stuck in obligations to others because you're worried about what they're going to think. Because you're useless to them if you're not honoring yourself, okay? So take care of the body's needs. Taking care of the body's needs is important also for proper rest and nutrition as part of the healthy creative flow. There's this other thing that I wanted to mention. If you say, I want to eat well and I want to exercise and I want to get enough rest, but I don't have time because my schedule is so crazy. I've got this, that, and the other with the kids. I'm going to school full time and I'm working and da-da-da-da. If you see a pattern over your lifetime where your lifestyle is preventing you from having the space that you need to relax, to become less stressed, you gotta undo your crazy lifestyle. It's gonna take time. That's that disruptive transformation. I was working 70, 80 hours a week, and that kind of lifestyle did not allow me to fast like I wanted to do, intermittent fasting. You just can't. If you're working that many hours, your body needs nourishment. You can't fast. And so many hours is creating toxic waste in your body because of the stress. If your lifestyle is creating more stress and not allowing for you to have space for the things you really want, don't give up the things you really want. Adjust your life to support you. I can't say that enough. Adjust your life to support you. It's your life. You're not at the mercy of your life and other things happening around you. You know, you create a life that supports what you really want. And we have to get to a place where we believe we have a right to ask for what we really want and to create what we really want. You know, if you want to take up gardening, living in the city, you know, is that going to help you? You know, you could do urban gardening. I've seen, you know, many people, you know, create beautiful gardens in the city, or, you know, do some sort of shared community garden. There's ways to support what you really want. But if you know that, okay, where I currently live is not going to get me what I really want, like a retreat out in the country, what do you need to do to get to that place? Are your current habits getting you to where you want to be? Can I actually have the spaciousness, the relaxation with what I currently have going on? Some of it might be really painful. can I build the life I want with the partner I currently have? That was really hard for me to understand. I'm not, with my ex, there was no way I could have a life that I have now, because me and him were in such conflict that it kept me in such a state of misalignment. It wasn't going to work. The support that I have from my current partner is tremendous. I don't think I could do this work without him taking care of many things in our life. And it's that sort of thing. But I built this environment over time, and it took me time. It took me time. 10 years ago, I was in a state of frustration and not having what I wanted. So take that state of frustration if you're there. Build from that place. What do I really want? Is what I'm doing currently, the relationships I'm in, the habits that I have, the job schedule that I have, are they going to give me what I want? And don't be afraid to let them go to build what you really want. It will happen. It will happen as long as you honor yourself. Okay. That said, ginger, the root of ginger, is the thing that we use to shave it down, get powdered root of ginger. You can use that to get your blood moving and warm up the body. Maybe get your desires going. Because of these qualities, it is considered a stimulant. It is of great benefit to the stomach and intestine, and is used for indigestion, cramps, and nausea. It can be applied externally to treat pain, inflammation, and stiff joints. The herbal essence can be employed to generate the creative impulse for when this card comes up. It is time to get busy and practice skills no matter what they are. So self-criticism and judgment are not needed right now. Again, love yourself. If you're doing some healing work, if you've made bad decisions in the past, love and nourish yourself through them. Don't judge yourself. Don't rip the scab off. Love yourself through the process. Make transitions easier. Okay. All right. So that's it for this week. Now let me get into pulling a card for Kimberly, Rebecca, Bethany, and Courtney with my herbal deck here. I'm going to take a sip of water. Hi, Brenda. Welcome. Let me know if you want a card. All right. This card's for Kimberly. This card's for Rebecca, Bethany, and Courtney. Okay. Five of Pentacles. This is for Kimberly. Mugwort. I actually love mugwort. Mugwort and motherwort. Some of my favorites that I've been working with lately. They always make me think of Harry Potter. Hogwarts. I think I mentioned that last week. Five of Pentacles. Some earth energy here. Mercury in Taurus. A woman with crutches sits alone in the cold while people in the village are warm and comfortable in their homes. Either she has consciously chosen to simplify her life, or she has had to accept a drastic change in circumstances due to external conditions. We were just talking about this. Very concept of simplifying your life. And maybe sometimes that requires a drastic change in circumstances. Even if these changes are due to external influences, she must look inward to see what it is that has needed changing internally. Again, what energy do you need to change on the inside to get what you need on the outside? Most times our unexpected events contain tremendous lessons. Yeah, most times an unexpected event contains tremendous lessons. And I think you were just talking about this. You know, you had this dream, that you wanted to happen, and some things interfered, and yet maybe the lesson for you was to learn, instead of freaking out, it was time for me to just relax, go within, journal, really process things, whereas maybe in the past you hadn't done that. And this experience taught you more about yourself, okay? The universe wants us to evolve and to become more conscious of our inner stillness within the eternal changes. It's kind of like, for me, I always go back to the abandonment wound. When I learned that I'm okay being alone, that's when I attracted my greatest love connection. And yet I still, in this Venus in retrograde, have these worries about, the greatest fears come up. Oh my God, they didn't answer the phone. What does that mean? And yet at the end of the day, I realize even if I'm abandoned, even if my worst fears come true, those worst fears coming true are there to show me I didn't really need that in the first place. So again, the universe wants us to evolve and to become more conscious of our inner stillness within eternal changes. Changes are going to happen anyway. These changes happen to reflect our greatest fears, to help us grow. And so how we react to them is where the work is done. So when we get too stuck in our thoughts and in life, we may unconsciously wish for a change, and so the universe provides it. But then we realize, oh, I don't know if I really wanted that. Try not to get stuck in self-pity and regret. I think we were just talking about the self-pity. For these can be ruthless traps from which it is hard to break free. Have faith that all things that occur are for further enlightenment. Exactly. These things are happening for you, not to you. Don't torment yourself about your relationships, money, home life, status, or friends that have left your circle. Look for the light at the end of the tunnel and affirm an inner faith as a new day unfolds. Mugwort's very bitter. It's a digestive tonic. It's an excellent nervine for uncontrollable shaking, nervousness, and insomnia. I would say also for uncontrollable thinking. For smudging, take dried mugwort and burn it in a fire-safe receptacle. I think we mentioned this last week in the abalone shell. Carry some herb in the pouch, your medicine bag. Okay, keywords: letting go of the old, making way for changes to occur, freedom from the restrictions of the past, taking the bitter lessons life gives, cleaning out the old, a new day is dawning, simplicity, worry, and concern. I see the richness in my spirit and acknowledge my inner values. That's for Kimberly. Okay, now for Rebecca. Take a little bit of sip of water here. Ten of Wands. Okay. The full bundle of 10 wands are carried as a burden on the back of the Voyager. Wands are fire energy. The senses of being overwhelmed, oppressed, and weighed down by various cares and concerns. While there is less opportunity for distractions and diversions, there is an obvious opportunity for organizing and gaining clearer focus and vision. Again, this whole week is all about turning our struggles into some lessons for us. Like, what's the real thing? Why are we going through this? Adhering to priorities can generate focused energy that will bring the reward of important personal breakthroughs. Priorities determine what's your priority. If you decide this week is the week I need to go within, stay within, honor myself, and you stick to it, you're going to feel a great sense of self-respect. And I think you're already kind of doing that. Yes, Kimberly, I think that card was perfect for you. All right. Love you too. All right. Take the opportunity to become organized in all aspects of your being. Clarify your goals. Make sure you allow others to take on their responsibilities as well. This is super important. Sometimes you really have to do the whole what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. This can apply to people trying to guilt you and have you take on their emotional burdens as well. And it's really important for you to determine what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, okay? A lot can be accomplished when this energy is handled properly. There's no need for you to take on other people's loads, okay? Prickly ash bark is the herb associated with this card. The herb will relieve feelings of oppression and burden. The idea that one is a martyr and victim will slowly be transformed to seeing the self as a creator and a responsible being. There's no need for or virtue in chewing and digesting someone else's experiences and lessons. It will be seen that it is better to allow others to face their own karma and responsibility while you remain in detached compassion. This is really important, I think, for you. The herbal essence is taken and the talisman of dried herbs is worn to relieve negative feelings of oppression and burden. Put down heavy loads that aren't yours to carry. It's time. Let it go. Oppression, heaviness, breakthroughs, taking responsibility for one's own karma and creations, allowing others to take on their own loads of responsibilities, seeing one's goals and doing the work necessary to achieve them. Okay, sometimes you may come to a realization and you kind of go, oh crap, this is my circus and these are my monkeys. Don't overwhelm yourself with like guilt or the stress of it. One thing at a time. Just allow yourself to go, okay, yeah, I'm realizing there's some stuff going on that's actually my responsibility. Let yourself assimilate into that. Kind of own it. Feel that energy. Don't worry about doing anything about it just yet. Just let yourself sit with certain realizations, okay? Seeing one's goals and doing the work necessary to achieve them. When you sit and when you allow yourself to fully embody that energy of realization, inspired action will come out of that. Don't try to push, don't try to birth something yet, a new self, whatever, until you really sat with it, okay? I willingly take on my responsibilities and allow others to take on theirs as well. That's for Rebecca. Okay, and then this next one is for Bethany. Justice. Plantain is the plant. Justice. Looks like a great card. Okay. Justice emerges out of the dense forest of darkness and confusion, holding the crystal of light in one's hand and the scales of balance in the other. The displayed sword symbolizes the unqualified search for truth. Her outer cape of red represents strength and power, and the inner gown of pink expresses her compassion. Justice, ruled by Libra, represents our internal need for equilibrium. She is the faithful divine mother, preserving us and maintaining our health, physically and emotionally and spiritually. She protects those things which are important to us, and with her sword she carves off what is useless and worn out. Justice is the appreciation and understanding of the laws of nature. When we're in harmony with these laws, we're protected in all ways. When we are in disharmony, pain and personal discomfort arise. Justice teaches us how, through work and action, we can cultivate health for body, mind, spirit by being discriminating in the choices we make for ourselves. She wants to take us toward our innermost joy. Just remember that. Spirit wants you to feel your innermost joy. Oh, Rebecca, thank you for being here, and I'm glad that you have much to reflect on, and you're taking the time to do that. That's really important. For Bethany, I see a lot of theme this week for many of us where we're really picking out what's not serving us, but it's our responsibility to pick out what's not serving us and to carve out. Once we realize it's not serving us, don't stay stuck in it. And I know for some, we're sort of just to realize that, but for you, no, you got to do some actual work to carve it out, cut out the things that aren't working right away, and come into equilibrium. What do you really want? What's good for you? What's good for your health? What's good for your spirit? And be in a place of joy. That's a lot of this work. When I say, you know, for me, I want to be more playful, because some of this spiritual work can feel really heavy, but it doesn't have to be, especially if you have a history of like depression or just lack of joy in your life. That what you really need is that balm of joy, and how to get there. It's such a delicate place to put down all these heavy loads to get to the place of joy, okay? But once you get there and you feel that joy, you cherish that energetic space, and you're like, I'm not gonna let anybody interfere in this. And that's where you're at right now, okay? Just as plantain can remove irritations such as splinters from the body, spiritually it can help one to identify and clear out inner sources of irritation. Like totally get rid of things that are irritating you. You don't have to tolerate them. It's kind of like if you got the splinter in your foot, don't sit there and try to worry about how can I feel joyful around this splinter. Take the splinter out. That's how you get more joy, okay? Medicinally, taken internally, plantain soothes and cools hot inflammation, expels phlegm, and relieves coughing. Use plantain and its energy to find ways to soothe things that are irritating you so that you can get to the state of joy. As an herbal essence, plantain may be taken 3 times a day while saying an appropriate affirmation to enhance the Justice card's energy. A good affirmation. By creating greater balance within, I create more joy in my life. Perfect for you. Okay. And then this card is for Courtney. Where are we at? Marshmallow. Queen of Pentacles. Some beautiful earth energy. When I think of marshmallows, the root has kind of a real slimy, almost like slippery elm, but in a different way. Marshmallow root is used for like soothing. And it's nothing like those terrible plastic marshmallows that people eat, the sugary things. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a sensuous woman who is very much in touch with the earth and physical life. She knows how to nurture and care for herself and others. Her pink head covering is representative of her compassion. Her red garment shows she is willing to get in touch with physical resources and put them to use. She has the ability to be focused and direct in getting things done. She is the personified Earth Mother and wants to see, feel, touch, and smell life. If advice is needed, she is the wise woman to consult. Definitely embody this energy right now. However, she must watch she does not interfere with others' choices or think that she knows what is best. Otherwise, she will feel drained, empty, ungrounded, and uncertain about her nurturing role. She must learn how to carry through with her primary responsibilities and when to let go of situations that are out of her control. By observing nature, she will see what it means to be faithful and loving nurturer. So marshmallow root can be used as a means to alleviate grief, fear, and other harsh emotions. It will assist in replacing them with softness, love, and compassion. For those whose healing work has left them with a drained feeling, this herb will do much to rebuild inner strength. So for you, I see that maybe you get drained very easily by helping others, and this is reminding you to nourish yourself. Not stop helping others, but really nourish yourself in the process to strengthen you so that it doesn't drain you while you're doing your purpose work. So be careful not to take into yourself other people's upsets and emotions. Doing so may deplete the second chakra area in the kidneys. So use herbal essence each day will metamorphose anger or excessive sympathy into inner softness and compassion for the heart. Kind of empathy fatigue, if you get some empathy fatigue, Drink some marshmallow tea. A piece of marshmallow root may be chewed to augment this process. Again, it kind of has a weird slimy feeling to it. It will give a greater sense of connection to the sensuousness of life and help one to feel one's roots within Mother Earth. And getting a sense to like get outside, be in touch with nature. That's going to be very restorative for you. Medicinally, a standard decoction may be made from the root and 1 cup taken 3 times a day during conditions of inflammation. So if you know you're going to be super busy caretaking for others, make some tea, drink it 3 times a day. Keywords: need to be nurtured and to nurture. While you're nurturing others, make sure you nurture yourself. To be in the body and enjoy the touch, sights, tastes, and smells. Being practical in dealings. Someone to turn to for advice. Cultivating greater respect for the earth, your body, and the food that nurtures you. Affirmation is, I feel the joy of being on the earth. I am nurtured and nurture others with my bliss. Okay. You know, I'm going to pull an herbal card for Stephanie as well, because she didn't tell me which card she wanted. Okay. This one's for Stephanie. Gravel root, 8 of Cups. A person is embarking on a journey into the night. The moment has come when one realizes that further progress can take place only after the lessons have been carried deep into the mysterious night of the subconscious. Such moments can appear to be a retreat or escape, though on closer examination, they are a way to coalesce one's powers. The card is under the influence of the waxing moon, signifying growth and expansion. Do not be afraid to leave old emotional baggage behind, but realize the perfection in the lessons learned. New shores await you. This new moon, this new full moon in Taurus, Taurus is also about your home. Time to let go of emotions, old baggage around home, house, hearth, what it means to have a family, okay? Gravel root helps to loosen up solidified emotions and feelings and allows them to be free-flowing and fluid. A sense of relief will be felt as this begins to occur. Welcome. Hi, if you're just popping on. To enhance the process of loosening up stuck and solidified emotions, take the herbal essence or carry some of the root in a pouch as a talisman. Visualize yourself in the boat depicted on the card. See the little boat? And feel the joy and hope moving within you as you leave the old shores and make way for new lands. This is also very nourishing for you. Take care of yourself while you're letting go of all the crap that's not serving you. For medicinal purposes, make a standard decoction using approximately 2 tablespoons of the herb to 2 cups of water and gently boil it covered for about 20 minutes. You can drink 3 cups a day. So, leaving old emotions behind, moving deeply inward to reevaluate the emotional situation, and new shores awaiting. I acknowledge past emotions and make way for the new, rejuvenated self to be revealed. That's for Stephanie. Okay. And then I have one animal card I'm going to pull for Bridget. So Bridget, I want to pull you one of these new spirit animal cards. They've been really lovely, and I want to see what comes up for you. Can y'all hear my stomach growling? It's talking. I'm moving aside these herbal cards. Shuffle these. What does Bridget need to know? Which animal is here? This is her. Elephant spirit. Learn from the past. So, Oracle message. Although we often wish we could leave the past behind, Elephant Spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions that they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant Spirit appears with a message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory-based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we're going. The stories of events you experienced, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity. For you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow. Sometimes when we think of our past, we think of that's the thing that wounds us, but I consider my past the thing that formed and shaped who I am today. And without all the events that happened to me in my past, I could not feel the medicine, the contrast of what I have today. And so just be mindful of that this week as you're nourishing yourself. Be grateful for all of your experiences, all the pain, all the crap, all the things that taught you new boundaries, all the things that taught you how to love and honor yourself, all the things that taught you what you don't want. Love yourself in that space. So that said, this concludes this week's card pull party and energy update. I wanted to remind a few folks, I still have that Samhain Ancestor Oracle card reading up for grabs. So far, no one's really jumped on it, and so, oh well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But if you have friends that you'd like to refer to, at this point, if one person refers somebody, then they'll get the card reading because nobody's done it yet. And if they have, no one's messaged me to let me know that they're the ones who referred a new member to the Soul Journey Sanctuary. The goal is to get people that you know would benefit from this space, not, more people, more numbers, quality over quantity, but to get the information that we're sharing here out to others that you think could benefit from it. So if you have friends, family, acquaintances who you think that this space would be ideal for, please share. And if you do so in the next 2 weeks, well, up until November 1st, I changed it to November 1st because Samhain is 31st into the 1st. So if you refer people to this space by November 1st, if you have referred the most members, I will gift you with a private Samhain Ancestor Oracle card reading. And one more little piece of housekeeping before I pop off. I am continuing my Discovering the Empowered Self interview series. This week, the 24th, on the full moon, is going to be my Facebook Live chat with Darcy Iverson, love and relationship coach and one of my business BFFs. I love her. She's a wealth of wisdom around loving yourself, around connecting better with others after, traumatic childhood. And I really think it'll be a great experience for you to check it out. So on my Facebook business page, 7 p.m. this Wednesday, October 24th, I'll be chatting with Darcy Iverson in a Facebook Live. And then in the comment section, I'm going to include the actual interview that we did for the Discovering the Empowered Self interview series, which is hosted on my YouTube channel. And you can check out all the other videos for the Discovering Empowered Self that have already happened. There's 4 other interviews there. Also, just a little plug, if you would like to donate to Child Safe, I put the direct donation link in the comment section to my YouTube videos. So you're welcome to donate there. Child Safe is a victim advocacy group here in San Antonio, Texas for abused and neglected children. The work that they do is really profound. I also put a link in there in the comment section to my YouTube videos on what they're about, what their mission is, what they do, and they're really amazing, and I hope you choose to donate even $10. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with me this far and coming into part 2 because part 1 got disconnected by the powers that be. So thank you for coming back on. Bye for now.